All right, we're live. Tapping Birdie, RBC Canadian Open / golf news. I'm here with golf journalist and reporter Jeff Feinberg of Mayo Media Network. Jeff, just give it to me. How was today? Have you ever experienced anything like what happened in the golf world today and being at the host course?
Yeah, that was a really weird day. And I'll be pretty honest, it was a pretty uneventful day. There weren't really as many players on the like of the top guys on the property. They still really hadn't shown their faces yet. There was nothing really too exciting happening. I like my morning was pretty boring there. And then shit just got real crazy where that just became the whole day, and like players were talking about it. It was still pretty early, like no one was really there, and players were just openly talking about it on the putting green, and you were close enough you could hear them, and you could just like anyone like walk up to any of them, like walking around and just be like I don't know, ask them what they thought. Everyone was like, that's really weird. Lanto Griffin's like something real sketchy's going on. Kazire and Todd were making jokes about Hudson Swafford, but like he got the bag. Like, why didn't we take? They were like mad that they didn't take their 7 milli or something. Like, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty weird. And James Hahn was walking around like a peacock.
He was
like,
happy.
He was strutting like, yeah. So I'm not really an I told you so guy, but I told you so.
And then you had your big moment. Did you ever think that you would be a background voice on Golf Channel on one of the most watched days in Golf Channel history? Could you maybe take me through what happened? I was live on Spaces with you, and like I'm kind of like at work. I'm like hearing you. You're kind of like in and out, and like next thing I know, it just like full straight Jeff Ogilvy talking into a Twitter Spaces. Pretty great moment that you captured there.
Yeah, so like as I kind of spoke about on the Spaces, and I guess like I'm not as good at the job as I thought I am, because like the things I should have asked was what I mentioned on the Spaces. Like, is there a reason Rose and Webb left so much earlier than all of you guys, and maybe gotten into some of that Rory stuff that Monday Quali has sort of been putting out? Like, that's pretty interesting, although apparently isn't good fun. I'm gonna definitely want to hear more, maybe listen to him and Wesley Bryant chatting later tonight. But Ogilvy walked away at first, and then Golf Channel got to him, and Ogilvy's like, he's not a like, he doesn't have a podcast. He's not a podcast guy per se, but we've all seen him do like a lot of podcasts, and he's kind of very vocal. And I could be wrong on this. I do think maybe he owns a piece of that Fire Pit Collective group, or if not, he's really good friends with the guys who do it. So he goes on like and is pretty open about a lot of things. And yeah, he was happy to talk. So that was interesting. And I'm not like, don't see myself as a golf journo. Like, there's nothing really. I mean, today Fitzpatrick didn't have today my morning was like, oh, like what should I ask Fitzpatrick a question? What would I ask? And like in the end, it was gonna sort of be like probably about LACC, maybe make a joke if he's been there on a family trip, and how like golf social media is really taken to his ability to win at places he visited with his family in a stateside, at least. Or maybe say like, where's your like, you cut a week before a major, I got like 3 straight top 15s before them, so he plays pretty well. Like, how does he balance the preparation? I don't know. Maybe I would have said nothing. Like, I'm not a golf journal. It wasn't really something I was looking to do. Then it kind of became like, I'm not shocked he bailed on his session. I mean, why should he before the players meeting speaking seemed kind of diluted? If anyone watched the Hadwin presser, which was the only like thing, his thing was kind of overshadowed by it. And he even acknowledged, like, I'm a nobody. Like, Monahan's not looking for my opinion. But he also acknowledged the rhetoric from both sides was pretty crazy. Like, to think we all thought we'd be here eventually, but a lot of that rhetoric from both sides is still very fresh.
Yeah.
Like, we're not far removed from both sides saying like the dumbest things. And maybe even some golf fans, I'm prone to say stupid things. I'm sure I did through all of it, but yeah, people should be, I guess guys should be pissed. And like the guys in that weird tier, like I don't know. There's a lot to digest. Everyone's gonna digest it. I don't know if you want to do more on that or just
Yeah, no, I
the
mean,
event.
this is definitely like the most like crazy day in golf history, that like barring anything that's actually happened on a golf
But like,
course.
who bended the knee here? Because someone had to bend the knee, right, for this to happen. Like the PGA, what's the like? I saw Byung Hun and some people like the easy first instinct thought was Liv was hemorrhaging money, and the PGA, like, what a great opportunity to sort of get in bed with the Saudis, who are part of so many entities across North America, whether people know it or not, from like 3M to Fanatics, they own a huge stake in that goes very unreported because Midwest moms and dads like can't not, I don't know, they don't want to be tempted to not order that Packers jersey. I don't know what to say
Yeah,
on
I
that.
think that this solved a lot of problems for the PGA Tour, and it doesn't feel right because now the Saudis and the PIF have a kind of a seat at the table, and they will be heavily invested in the PGA Tour and this new entity that they're creating. But they're most likely, I think it's pretty likely that LIV will be gone, that LIV will like go away, and their biggest competitor will cease to exist. They're not going to have to spend 300, 400 million dollars in lawsuits. That's all going away. And I think that maybe some of the sponsors, selling this designated event with a double purse was getting a little bit tougher. And
Yeah.
this solved all of those problems for them. It just makes them look extremely poor, given that 365 days ago, Jay Monahan was talking about the 9/11 families,
Oh,
and everyone has been kind of vocal against LIV and the Saudis, and now it just puts everyone, including people like me and you. I know we had a lot of different opinions on it, but that have defended the PGA Tour and kind of trash LIV and the Saudis. It puts a lot of people in a really difficult position, but it solved a lot of issues for the PGA Tour that they needed to fix.
I always came at it from the view of the spoiled, selfish North American sports fan. Like, we don't live our leagues. Messi and Ronaldo don't play in different leagues.
Yeah.
Like, for the selfish, spoiled North American sports fan. And for me, it was I mean, I always ignore, like, if the nine, okay, this is going to sound really like crass because 9/11 is important to everybody. But if that like issue in the Saudi investment was important to you, my whole take was then you have every right to like be furious about that. For me, I wear Nikes, I eat Chick-fil-A, like I still watch, like I can't, if I'm going to get into a world of corporate hypocrisy, like then I have nothing.
Yeah,
And
and I
I
think
just,
another
so,
thing, like I kind
but
of
my whole live angle was more like now they're separate and it's just ruining what I love. Like that was my anger. And then
yeah.
it was easy to take shot, like question guys' competitive desires in some respects for going. But I mean, in the end, I get like said they want, like, Phil feels like a winner, right? And like I guess they all
I don't
want,
know. I
if they get,
honestly, like, I don't do think Phil wants to go back and, for Jay Monahan to be his boss and presumably play in PGA Tour events. Like, I don't know if he wants to do that. Like, I'm not 100% sure that Phil wanted this to
I
happen. I
think
think
Phil
he
wants to peacock where like I Phil can like just be able to enter Torrey Pines or Phoenix, like these events that he even on Twitter mentions he's watching and like wishes he was a part of. I feel like, and then, goes on his rants on like it's all bullshit, which again, I've always acknowledged, like, even when we made fun of him, we always acknowledged, yeah, he was right, but he's just acting crazy.
Yeah,
And
now like the
we
thing
all
that
agreed. We saw what happened with elevated events and the schedules. Like, Phil was right. But we're still allowed to be like, what the? Okay, so now that we've all acknowledged you're right, what the hell is going on?
yeah,
Like,
I don't understand every single thing that happens in professional golf. Everyone like Phil just victory laps it all. Like it doesn't matter what the specifics of it. It's anything that changes or is new. Phil gets to victory lap, but I don't know. And I also think that like the biggest issue for me, and I think for most people that we kind of run into the same circles with, are wondering if Cam, DJ, Brooks, Bryson, Phil, are they going to be playing PGA Tour events in 2024? That is the biggest question that everyone wants to know and what everyone cares about, because in my opinion, I don't think the PGA Tour would have done this deal and, went through all of this if they weren't getting all of those stars back and weren't getting rid of their biggest competitor in LIV Golf. So selfishly, the only thing I care about, I wouldn't say the only thing, but my biggest priority is getting these top LIV golfers back on the PGA Tour and competing on the PGA Tour, because that makes for the best product, and selfishly that is best for betting and what we like to do.
so that's pretty much exactly what I said to Pat today. And like the thoughts are still flowing through my head. Like I got a lot of sun. My feet, Brian, I've never been to Europe. I'd love to go to Europe with my wife, but I'm telling you, I walked more today than I would if I was in Italy and in a nice little town. Like I think I walked 40 holes today and my feet are dead. And I'm going back tomorrow and probably the next day. But once Thursday, Friday come, I'm actually just gonna just be a spectator in a nice shaded spots.
You got any like corporate tent vibes going?
Yeah. I got, friend people there. Yeah. So a few 7 or the ring. Yeah. A couple of spots.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I'll probably just be like I'm not running around the course like a chicken with my head cut off once they actually start to play. I don't think
you saw the holes. You followed the golfers.
Yeah, I'll get to that in the moment. But as I said to Pat, like, should we care that Colin Morikawa doesn't have $120 extra million,
No.
or should we just be happy that Patrick Reed is back and I don't have to worry about Neiman running out of majors because he's not getting world ranking points or something?
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy about those things more so than. There's gonna be a gripe with those guys who turn down the bag, and even those third and fourth tier golfers that turn down the 10 or 12 or 14, $20 million LIV deals, or guys. And just off the top of my head, I don't even know if he got a LIV offer, but in that Corey Connors talent range, probably $25-30 million offers.
Yeah,
right?
but I think in my opinion, they will be made whole by this, because now that they're forming this new entity that's not a non-for-profit, and now that when the LIV guys have to go through this process to get back into the PGA Tour, they're going to have to pay these fines. They can better compensate the guys that stayed. I don't think that's really going to be up for debate. I think that's one of the top priorities.
I don't know. I honestly do not think Brooks Koepka's writing a check. I do not believe they're writing a check.
Yeah, but maybe I think what's going to happen
will be garnished or something. Maybe one of their checks will be garnished and they'll be garnishing wages. But I assure you, Dustin Johnson is not cutting a check to tour office. That's my opinion. I'm wrong about a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think what's going to happen is that it says that they're going to evaluate LIV and the financial logistics of it, and then they're just going to be like, okay, we're going to kind of get rid of this because it's not making us money, and then there's going to be no other tours for these guys to go to. But that's just kind of what I think, what I heard. But I also think that all the Saudi money that's going into this new entity that's being formed, that will be helped to compensate the guys that stayed. And like, obviously the easy talking point is just like, oh, if you didn't take all that money, like you're a fucking idiot. Like if all of them took that money, like there would be no PGA Tour. Like they did something that was right and that they could, be okay on. And all of these guys have been making a bunch of money this year and they have the PIP and they're going to be compensated. There's no doubt in my mind that the guys that stayed that were valuable to the PGA Tour will be compensated in all this. That has to be one of the top priorities.
But yeah, I don't know who's getting compensated, how much of those huge deals do any of those guys got to give back? I mean, like I get, and now I mean, everyone's like they overshadowed the Canadian Open for a second straight year because last year was the first ever live event the week of the Canadian Open, and now this year this. I mean, that is what it is. I've made the case. I'd argue it's actually like put attention on the Canadian Open. And the Canadian Open.
No, I mean anytime like
period. So I can see that, but like it's going to overshadow the U.S. Open, all those press conferences, and like in the same way, Brian, last year at the U.S. Open, and it bothered me so much, and I thought it should bother a lot of golf fans when we asked like Brooks Koepka, like, what's going on? Why are you going? Like, why do you care? Stop asking me. Like, why do you care?
I think at the U.S. Open last year, Brooks didn't even announce he was going yet.
Yeah, but when asked whether he's like, why do you care if I'm going?
Yeah.
That was the sort of thing. And I've always said, like, Brooks, he seems like he's a hardcore sports fan. Like, he would care if one of his favorite players on the P's,
bro,
wanted to leave town. P's need a little help. I'm sure Brooks is having a banger in Vegas. But so this year at the U.S. Open, like, I don't know, is Brooks gonna be like, why do you care? Like, why do you care I'm going? Might go back. Like, I don't know. I'm sure he'll be like a peacock. He's got his PGA championship. He'll be okay. Man.
He'll be okay.
I think he's the favorite, although Phil's bookmaking now and says it should be Victor.
Favorite. Yeah, but, I'm just obviously talk about it. I'm just a little sorry for you because this whole part was just going to be Vic lapping Hovland and talking about Hovland and, Greg Norman and Jay Monahan have just taken it all away from you. So I apologize. We'll have to talk about it because that was what I was looking forward to on this pod.
I don't know. Yeah, listen, that's yesterday's news, man. Like the wire moves fast, I guess. And yeah, we get a story like this. Like that's nice. Hovland won Sunday. Yeah. That's what's great for him. He's gonna win again soon, maybe even a major.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That was
Yeah. Well, no, I like one last thing on the LIV thing. Like in my opinion, it's just more sport washing. Like this is exactly what the Saudis wanted. They wanted a seat at the table to work with these American billionaires and to normalize Saudis in business and in America. And they got exactly that. And they just kind of used LIV to do that. We see it happen in soccer. We see it happen in F1. Now it's fully happening in golf, and it's going to go into other U.S. sports, and all these crazy fan bases are going to get to experience it. We're just kind of the first ones in America to kind of experience all this, but it's just straight up more sport washing. It's just distracting from the Saudis, and that's my opinion on it. I know a lot of my listeners know I'm kind of like a LIV snowflake, so like that is how I feel. Did I hate LIV? Was I like the biggest proponent against it? No, but in my opinion, it's just more sport washing that solves a lot of problems for the PGA Tour. And we're extremely early in all this. And the next year of golf is going to be even more interesting than the last. I'm excited for it. I just want to see DJ at Genesis, to see Cam at Tournament of Champions, to see Phil at Bay Hill. That is what I want. And I will, the sport washing will work on me, is what I'll say. If that happens, that will be what I'm focused on.
Listen, I ain't ever taken a vacation to Riyadh. I don't care if they own the Chargers. I don't know what sports watch. Like I get it. I get what they're trying to do, but my family, we're not going. I mean, I don't even think we're allowed, by their rules.
Yeah, they're not fancy of our people.
Yeah,
over there.
I don't know. Apparently, you're just not allowed, which is cool. We don't want to go either. Everyone's just mind your own. But yeah, again, like I said, the Saudis are kind of everywhere when you look into that fund, and then you dry yourself a lot. You might not even be able to like wash your clothes with the detergent you like if you look too deep into like where they go. So
yeah, I tweeted out before I will be biking to work. I will be not filling up my car with gas because that is just helping the Saudis. So like I'm out on getting gas. I will not be getting gas anymore. I'll be biking to work. Like I'm done supporting the Saudis. Okay. Victor Hovland, you've been waiting for this moment for a while. This was kind of it was Vic's year to get a big dick win. Was playing great in the majors. Still had some of those classic Vic performances, but did it live up to the expectations? Was it as good as you thought it would be for Victor Hovland to win a designated event and for you to have a boatload of money on it? Did it live up to the expectation of that you made in your head? Okay.
Yeah, Sunday was as good as shit. Like in some ways it felt like a major, which it isn't, but it is it's a big one. It's like the top 3 non-majors after the Players, or maybe you could even put the Players on the list, like Players, and then you could argue it however you want, but it's the handshake with Jack, and we saw Rahm do it and win a major. We saw Bryson do it and win a major. We saw Hideki do it. Like we've seen so many guys do it before their major who we always thought would win majors. It's part of the reason Cantley goes off at like 16-1 in these majors. I won 2 freaking times at Memorial. Yeah, I think it's like the Rahm disqualify thing, but still. Yeah, it was great. Now we keep charging ahead. Yeah, hopefully does what he's done at the other majors at the US Open and has the Sunday confidence, maybe a little more push to just be yourself, do what you do.
Yeah, I think it was like
Denny relented. I don't, as happy as I was, the other end of that, Brian, is, oh man, I've been thinking of that. I don't know. All those par putts, I've been so tilted. I'd have been on the Monday so tilted. I'm certain of it.
Yeah. And like I mean, he missed a 4-foot birdie putt, and he's Daddy fucking McCarthy. Like that is golf in a nutshell. Like was making every single par putt all day, and he flags one. I was watching it with some buddies, and he has a wedge in his hand, and we're like, okay, Daddy should probably just like go for the middle of green here. Like he just kind of needs to make a couple pars, stuffs it to 4 feet, misses the putt, and that was obviously the difference. But it was great to see Denny kind of get after it and really contend. I don't know if he's really ever contended to win a tournament before, but yeah, I think it was just the evolution of Hovland finally came into fruition. Had a couple shaky Sundays the past couple years, made some poor decisions, and it was just pretty straightforward. Like this is a great course for him. He's playing great golf. He needs a win. He's going to get a big win, and it happened. It happened at a good number. I congratulate everyone who was on him. And yeah, it was a great win. I worry about his chances at the US Open winning back-to-back starts, but I think everyone pegs him for the Open Championship. Everyone seems to have already picked him to win that major. Do you agree with it? I know you might not have all the insight in the world on Hoylake, but Victor Hovland, it's in Europe. It's not in America. Like it's a major. Hovland's going to win the Open. Are you in on that?
I have a piece, but I also got a piece of the country club, 28-1 or 29-1, and I got my
the US Open. The US Open.
Yeah. And I got my preseason Vic to T10 in all 4 majors at 160-1, which I said that's bullshit. I said 110. They had like Zalatoris at 30. And I'm like, listen, Zalatoris is the man. But if he's 30, which is fair,
what did he finish at the Masters?
Then Victor shouldn't be I was like, no. So yeah, we got that. So hopefully,
okay, so that'll be like a fucking outright, dude. Like you're just rooting for a top 10. You don't even need
for all of it.
You don't even need
just keep being Victor. That's all he needs, and we're gonna be so money.
Yeah, he's pretty good at golf. I mean, I have a golf podcast. Like I watch golf. Victor, good at golf. Good and ball striker. Like I'll give you that.
And if he wins the majors, like he's not American, so he can't really join Spieth. But in terms of just like worldwide perception, he's going to be a superhero, man.
Yeah. I mean, he's
like
way
that shit
fucking...
the morning after winning, bagging your buddy at the US Open. And he'd have done that if he lost.
Yeah.
But that just shit when you're a winner and you do that, it adds. And then he's got that baby face smile.
Yeah.
Corporate America could easily get, like, if he wins a major, corporate America might jump on his.
I mean, it is 1,000,000 times better for Viktor Hovland to win an event than Xander or Cantlay. Like, no one feels anything if they win, but people feel stuff when Vic wins. He's a lot more marketable. He's a lot more interesting. He's a lot more funny. So it is good for the PGA Tour for Vic to keep winning. And, you know, money aside, I would rather see him win than Cantlay or Xander. I don't think there's much debate about that. But congrats on Hovland. That was great Sunday by him. So Canadian Open this week, your home course. Not a lot of people, you know, just randomly get a PGA Tour course is going to be played at my home course. It's not something that happens often, especially in this space. So you've been looking forward to this one for quite some time, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I mean, since there were rumors, where I've said a few times this week, when I first heard the rumor, like, that's impossible. That's not happening. Like, what are we doing? Like, that no one's ever even put. Yeah. And everything was possible. It's happened. And I guess I'm sort of treated the last 2 days as I guess anyone would who's in the position that I am, with some of this media access, as well as the home course, as well as like a lot of the staff at the club have sort of been put in these like odd jobs by Golf Canada in like support roles in some ways. So, you know, just catching golf cart rides all over the place, Brian. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's been lovely. I'm having a blast. I will chop the dick off of any member who votes no for the return in 26.
Okay. You'd have beef with them.
We will have beef to the death.
Okay.
There will be lifetime beef. If you're playing behind me, I will be the slowest motherfucker you've ever played in, but like for the rest of your life, avoid me.
Okay. No, that's good to know.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but yeah, if you take what I got to do the last 2 days and what I'm going to do tomorrow away from
I mean, you played it like 2 weeks
then
ago.
We're enemies.
It wasn't like,
we're enemies. We're
right.
enemies.
You played it like a couple weeks ago. It wasn't like they closed the course for like months on end.
No, exactly.
It didn't take that much away.
Enemies. And I don't know what they'll think of me. Like, I'm just this guy taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
But I don't give a shit. We'll be enemies, and I'll be enemies with their children too.
Okay, perfect. And your children will be,
because I'm a vindictive soul, Brian.
Yeah.
Like, my soul is a vindictive one, I believe, in some ways.
Don't cross Jeff. Everyone knows this.
No, I mean, you cross me. I won't do anything like crazy, but I'll like just paper cut you for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Like, just paper cut you.
So we can't
like,
talk
it'll be
about
the coldest day, and I will your car door will be like, I'll pour buckets of water on your door. You will not be able to open it. It'll be like a hockey rink thick.
Okay, that's good to know. So we can't talk about everything, but I think something that we were talking about, I think people want to know, what's the winning score? How many birdies are these guys going to make? All this stuff. And I think a lot of the narrative early in the week, when you look at the scorecard, when you kind of look at the courses, these guys are going to light this place up. This is going to be super easy. Wedges, 25 under. I was kind of not really in that camp. That would be one at minus 25, really. And then Vegas came out with their line, and they said it at 17.5 winning score. A lot of people disagreed with it when they said it at 9.5 for the PGA Championship. And although the under hit, they were kind of right on with that. You were hearing from some caddies that 15, 16, or 17 can win it. So are you pumping the brakes on the minus 25, maybe like a minus 18? Okay. So you're in on
I
that.
pump the I mean, I can't. I have to take these opinions seriously, but I'm just this guy that knows my course isn't as hard as St. George's. Like, I just know that. And anyone that's played both properties, like, no one would ever, you'd go 99 out of 100. Be like, yeah, that's a lovely property. And it's, you could debate its hardness, but that St. George's one is harder. And they have very many similar qualities, same architect, a lot of parkland, and just a lot of same features that I, had to take that seriously. But then you hear from these caddies, and I don't know. They think the holes 3 through 6 is a bitch, and the rough is thick everywhere. Brian, I don't want to even name names, because like even good players I saw like duffing balls or trying to do too much of something out of rough, and they got like the ball goes 30 yards. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. Like it's crazy. And granted, a lot of times like they do things in practice, like they see, like, let me just see what the wood would do here.
Yeah.
And they just like me, like I hit a wood out of rough, and then my buddy laughs like, you're an idiot. Why'd you ever do that? But they're just like testing, like, how would this work? And they realize quickly it doesn't work. And then they use even the safe club, and they can't get where they want to get the ball. The rough is pretty thick. It's taken me off. I knew it was thick. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but the course, the vibe from
like there's a in my opinion, there's a big difference between like last year Rory McIlroy lapping the field, one of the greatest golfers of all time, going nuclear and shooting -19, where most people weren't even close to that, and maybe like a -8 was top 20 last year. I don't know off the top of my head, but the scores were kind of dispersed.
That's true. But I was even talking to Cockrell, who's like, I was 2 under and in like 20th place, and then on the weekend it became an insane birdie bonanza.
Yeah, so in my I think there's a big difference between winning at -25 and winning at -19. I think it's going to be more winning at -19. That still, goes to show you got to make a lot of birdies, and you could still target birdie makers, and it's not going to be super tough. But you can do it either way you want. If you like a guy that plays in difficult conditions, use that. If you like a guy that makes a bunch of birdies, use that.
I don't think it's difficult conditions though.
Because no.
If you just like
medium score,
you can still plot your way around. But if you try to bite a little more than you can chew, then you could find yourself in trouble. Because I still don't think it's that difficult to get to good numbers and turn all of them, 14 of the holes into birdie holes. And while the rough is a bitch, won't there be 2 handfuls of players who are never in it?
Yeah.
And then once you're
and
never
it's also
in it,
so short that like these guys can hit wedges out of rough. It's a matter of like not being able to hit 5, 6, 7 iron out of the rough.
Yeah. And I just think like there'll be enough players who are just never in the rough that maybe they will still be able to take advantage of all parts of the course. But I heard, the feedback from that, like, I'm shocked. Okay. And I apologize, and I get if people took my word as gospel, which is fair on the
now they're like now they're changing their models.
But I'm telling you, like, it wasn't just me. Like, anyone who looked at the course was like, holy shit, birdie party. Anyone I know ever played the course, like, how the hell's the property gonna hold these guys? So yeah, that's where we are.
So are you betting anyone under 20-1? We got a bunch of losers. I bet Sam Burns. That was kind of the guy to start the week that I was like, I want to bet. If I got a good number on him, I'm going to bet. He wins more than any of these guys that are priced around him. He's playing well. He's already won this year on a short course that requires a lot of birdies. Elite driver, great putter, 16-1. He usually wins twice in 1 year. So that was my reasoning for Burns. I know you got Tommy at like 25-1. Did you venture anyone lower than Tommy this week?
So I haven't, and I guess I kind of missed the numbers. I really like Burns and I really like Hatton, and the numbers really got cut out from Hatton, and it does seem like some 16s can still be had on Burns. So that could be the one. For me, it's also, there's that variable if he's just an RBC guy and it's the week before a major, and is he just here to kick the bed? And I'll tell you, Brian, Rory's not been on the course. He's not been on the course. Rory, if he's now in like maybe he just wants the F out of town. Like there's a major next week. I don't know what the odds to miss the cut. Like that seems impossible, but not betting it that Rory's bad, betting it that there's some like on purpose play here, and he's had to come here for his 3 straight, right? He's been here like 3 trying to go for back to back, and there's a lot going on here. And I know RBC pays him not to play, but to corporate all blow, because we're proud of his association with tournament up here. That's one to think. But yeah, I like Tommy, and I bet Moronk.
Okay.
Moronk's been working like a dog, man. And I saw
he's been grinding.
Patty, and I'm like, dude, I don't think anyone's been like grinding harder, like all over the like just working on them, like not bad, like shit's bad. I got to work on it, just like working hard. This guy said, "That's the way to the top. That's the way to the top." Okay. And when I was talking to Moronk and I mentioned the Ryder Cup, his face lit up like a Christmas tree.
He's on the team.
He said, "That's the goal." And like with a ear to ear smile, that is the goal.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you know this, Jeff. His girlfriend is a 10, smoking hot. So if you want another reason to like Moronk, like stunner of a girlfriend, go look
Not
her
surprised. And I played Rasmus, which I don't really know if that's a good bet. And it's not even like I've been watching him golf. I haven't. Okay. I've not even like looked to follow him.
Like you're just riding some cheeky euros, bro.
Yeah, just cheeky euros at I think an overprice on the course fit. And Hubbard is my dog.
Okay.
Hubbard is my dog, and just a couple like quick musings. Like I could get it. Could this be a time to maybe like Aaron Wise money? Like, is he like you could argue he's like the 15th, 18th best player in this field?
Again, this doesn't mean anything because we think we know more than like what is gonna happen. But like again, I like Wise in more difficult conditions. Hasn't done anything since he came back from the break. Has been hard. Like I'm out. Like on Wise, I know it's 100-1 pure talent versus number. It's off, but no, I'm good on
maybe not the win.
Wise.
Like a placing. Like
like
he's played in a handful of events off not an injury, but a leave. What you're sympathetic and I just don't know what a mental health break. So maybe got it out. I don't know. You could be right. I haven't played him or anything. And
someone you're eyeing, just some value there.
He was out there with. I want to say he was out there with Fitz. Yeah, Fitz was dodging his media, which I don't blame him. I mean, that's not his job to stay. Yeah, I think we spoke about that.
So that's obvious. Like I would be in on Tommy. Like 25-1 is a good number. Like given kind of the people around him. I know he doesn't win. Like my biggest concern with Tommy is that like can like so much good happen to you within a 3-week span.
Ooh,
like that's
a fair point. Fair point.
Like that is where it's like, yo, like the numbers are telling me one thing, but like my gut is like, is Griot, Hovland, and Tommy gonna win in a 3-week? Like maybe or maybe it's just like Jeff is hot, like he's just on a heater.
No, I don't know.
Just ride Jeff.
Yeah, I mean this Tommy thing would be. At this course, like that would just be for that to be the picture that will hang in like the clubhouse forever. Tommy with the trophy, like just I'll melt. That would be me melting. You're right though, Brian. I can't run this pure, as they say, as that like that seems impossible. But make those putts, Tommy, and yeah.
I might be in. Like if it's like -17,
it's a big number. And hey, Brian, Tommy, listen, no PGA wins. The PGA is pretty much an American tour. He's never won in America, but
fuck it.
He's won in Europe. He's won in the Middle East. He's won in South Africa. Like, hey, we're not in America here.
Yeah. No, Jay says things happen in threes. So I think that's a pretty fair point. I bet Eric Cole. I bet him at 90-1. He's like 66-1 now.
Seems like a great fit. Like he can plot and putt.
You look at the numbers.
Yeah.
He pops in the numbers. Like procs from 150 in birdies. Eric Cole 90-1. That's plus EV. Like I'm in on that. I'm happy with that one. I'm betting Lee Hodges. He's my guy. He's always been my guy. I've been riding him since Nam. Playing good golf. I think it's a scenario where like he can't get to that low number, but fuck it. Maybe he can. I'm willing to take the chance on him. And then I bet Carson Young 180-1.
I like
easy
that.
bet.
Like it. Yeah, his numbers crash. So yeah, Brian, you're on the ball here. Like you got some great CLV this week because I missed the Cole numbers. By the time it dawned on me that like he will just put it in the right spot, get on the green, and he hits the putts in a putting, what could be a putt show. Seems like a great bet. And Carson Young also, I mean, golf CLV's worth nothing, but both of those guys, I've seen their numbers crater. So you're on.
Yeah, no, Carson Young, I mean, total misprice. Not really. Not really. I'm not going to say. I have a total misprice that I bet. But yeah, Carson Young has been playing unbelievable golf. Dude can make a zillion birdies, like him on short courses. Carson Young, 180. That's a big one. I tweeted out earlier in the week that I saw one of the biggest misprices in the history of golf. And that was like kind of a joke, but Austin Smotherman, 300 to 1. That number is wrong. That number is just straight up wrong. Dude was first round leader at the Mexico Open. He was first round leader at Bermuda earlier in the fall swing, 21st at the Charles Schwab. Great putter. Like, he can pop at 300 to 1. I'm more than willing to take the chance on Team Smo at 300. So he's kind of like just my long shot 300 to 1. Like, why the hell not? But yeah, I like Team Smo this week.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing bad to say. The other guys who are at that price range, I agree. He's certainly like in a different class of golfer. So
any love for Ches? Like short wedges, 200 to 1. You like Ches?
I mean, I didn't bet it, but I like it. I've honestly, Brian, as I mentioned, I've really like not thought to over bet this event. I don't want to be tilted. I just kind of gonna enjoy it. You know when I'm over betting? Next week. It's the U.S. Open. I'll overbet the shit out of that. And in theory, like, I'd come into this week thinking I'm going to overbet the shit out of it.
Flush with cash.
But now that it's here, it's just like, no, I just want to enjoy it. I don't want to be like all consumed about who's winning. Like, I'm going to have, like you said, the nice tents, the hospitality. I'm going to have a lot of friends who don't give a shit about like betting. Like, they like to bet, but I mean, like, it's,
you don't want to be like ripping your hair out over like a Højgaard 8-foot birdie putt miss.
You know me. It would ruin my day.
Yeah.
I'm not putting myself there. Like, I like to think if I went to the Masters, I would like maybe have like a bold guy like want to bet or two, but I wouldn't like, I don't know. I just want to enjoy it and not like really give a shit about bet. I got so many weeks to just flood bets. This week, I don't think it's that for me.
So you're good. Has your family been, happy about your golf wins recently? Like, you going on any trips? You treating your wife? Like, what are your plans with this recent golf winnings? Like, pay your bookie? Like, pay your electric bill?
Life's just expensive.
Yeah.
There's always things. Camp for this year hasn't started. They're happy if you want to pay for next year and get a little discount. Like, I don't know. It's weird shit. The money goes quickly. Quickly. Something around the house will break. I don't know, man.
You'll be okay.
You're
not buying a Rollie or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta ask you something because I haven't been betting on golf for as long as you. What is like betting on Ricky? Like, has it always been like this? Like, he's kind of in the mix, and like the second he gets into contention, he just shits all over himself. And like, has he always been like a very frustrating outright bet? Because I'm kind of just new into betting on Dick. Like, I know you have some history there. Has this always been the case with Dick?
I was such a fish, man. And it was like the 20 to 1, like 25, just behind like the really good players. And they knew how to fish price them. And I would chase that shit because I'd get teased. Because like you said, there's that contention. It's like, it's like late Saturday. He's in a great spot. And he never came home clean.
Okay.
He just couldn't.
So this is nothing. The past 2 weeks are nothing new.
Nothing new, except the expectations were so much higher back then. That's the difference.
And you had to bet more money on him.
Yeah, and a part of me was like, "Oh my god, there's a chance like Victor's gonna repeat like my Ricky life from the Oklahoma State to the 20 to 1s and just me just relentlessly well feeding. Except Vic didn't like really." I'm not comparing Vic in terms of like fading on a Saturday to lose his tee time. He's actually the man. But they're like, I don't know, needing the big one, overpaying for the baby face.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I might be done with, right? Like I'll bet him at like 3M or Rocket. Like I had, it was good. I mean, he gave me like a little bit of a sweat, but I've had a really tough year. It's been tough. I wanted to bet Hovland. I didn't. Just been a tough year for Brian. I just want to be transparent with the investors, with my listeners, not losing money I can't afford to lose. But you know, I'd like to hit some bets like eventually. But we're just on a little bit of a cold streak right now. But you know, we're gonna move past it. And we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. But we're just the investors are not happy currently.
Sorry, B.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. You see these wins on the gotta get you. You'll get off the mat. You'll hit your
yeah,
quota. You'll hit your
yeah.
quota, buddy.
Probably not, but it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I got some money coming my way, so I feel like the golf gods wouldn't let me like get this money and then like have winners. So that's kind of what I'm using to like justify it. But yeah, we'll be okay. Jeff, pleasure to have you on. I know it's a busy week for you. And then all hell broke loose. So there's a lot going on, but I appreciate your time. I wish you the best of luck this week. I hope you keep killing it with the content you're putting out, and I hope you end Sunday victorious at your home club.
Oh, I hope so. Fleetwood, please.
Yeah, that will be great. We'll see everyone next week. LACC. Everyone have a great night, and yeah, we'll see you next week.